If you're thinking about starting a garden this year, but you're not exactly sure where to begin, then stick around because I've got 8 of the easiest vegetables for you to try in your garden. These are simple to grow and they'll give you a quick win this year, which will help you grow in your skills and your confidence as a gardener too. First up on the list are lettuces and other salad greens. These are really easy to grow. They can go from seed to leaf lettuce in as little as 30 to 45 days. They're also really easy to grow in pots. At our first house, we grew all of our garden was pots of lettuce out on the balcony. And there's also some varieties of greens that will self-sow in the garden. In our garden, we have claytonia and corn salad, which is also called mash, and that reseeds in the garden every single spring, so it comes up in the fall. And every single spring, we have greens just waiting for us once the snow clears. Radishes are another quick win. You can plant them anywhere, including in a pot, and they'll be ready in less than 30 days for you. My favorite type of radish to grow is a variety called French breakfast, and I always plant way too many, and I like to let them go to seed because the flowers are really pretty and they're really good for attracting pollinators as well. Green beans are also perfect for beginners. They are easy to grow and you can plant them right out into the garden as soon as the soil is warm. There are 2 basic types. You have pole beans, which do need a support, and they produce beans all season long. You also have bush beans, which don't need any support at all, but they usually produce all their beans all at once. My favorite type of green bean to grow is a bush variety called Desperado. I love them because regardless of whether they are really small or I've let them go a little bit too long, they're still really tasty. Zucchini is always a favorite for beginners, and one plant can keep you in zucchini for the entire summer and probably your neighbors too. It's really easy to grow, but zucchini can take up a lot of space. So you might want to look for a compact variety that you can grow in a smaller space. You could even grow it in a pot, and you can also grow them vertically. Now, I've tried a lot of different kinds of zucchini and a lot of the heirloom varieties, and honestly, I can't tell any difference between any of them. So any type of zucchini you find is going to be a good one for your garden. Cucumbers are my favorite thing to grow in the garden, and I plant them out as soon as the soil is warm, around about the 1st of June in our area. They're really easy to grow, and you can grow them up on trellises. I like to use bamboo canes for supports. My favorite variety is the Suyo long cucumber. It is really tasty and it grows really long, and the plant produces more than enough for the 2 of us. Right now I've been using 6-foot bamboo canes to make a bit of a teepee around 2 or 3 cucumber plants, and then I let the cucumbers grow up those canes. If you have a garden that's in partial shade, then Swiss chard and spinach would be 2 fantastic vegetables for you to grow. Spinach prefers cooler weather, so it likes to be grown either in the spring or later in the summer, so it grows into the fall and early winter. But Swiss chard produces all season long. My favorite Swiss chard is a variety called rhubarb chard. It's got these really deep red stems and really glossy dark green foliage, and I absolutely love that. It's just as ornamental as it is delicious in the kitchen. Tomatoes are always a classic for any beginner gardener and are easy to start from seed, but they're also just as easy to find in every garden center. When you're growing tomatoes, you want to pay attention to the variety that you have and the type of description that it has, because there are some that trail and get really, really huge, and there are some that stay really compact and are really good for pots or containers or hanging baskets, that sort of thing. I have 2 favorite varieties of tomatoes right now. So the first variety is called Lemon Drop, and it's a really big, sprawling variety. I think it's kind of a grape tomato. It's these bright yellow tomatoes that have a very citrus smell and taste to them. They are fantastic. I got the seeds from Seed Saver Exchange. My other favorite tomato is a variety called House, and this is one that I found at the garden center, so I don't know too much about it other than it is tiny. It is less than a foot tall. I kept it in an 8-inch pot all last summer, and it produced really well. These really delicious little red cherries, and you can also bring it inside over the winter and keep it on a windowsill. Mine didn't survive, but I'm going to try again this year, so hopefully I can get another one of those tomato plants. And last up on the list are peas. Peas are really easy to grow for beginners. You just plant them in the soil as soon as it can be worked in the spring. Not too early. You don't want the soil to be too wet because the peas can end up sitting there and rotting in the soil. But as soon as they get going, you're going to have amazing, delicious snacks all season long. I like to grow the type that are snap peas because you can eat them either at the small pod stage like snow peas or all the way to like a shelling pea. Although for the most part, they never make it inside because that's my garden snack. I love snacking on peas out here in the garden. So there you have it. Those are the 8 easiest vegetables to grow if you are a beginner. So let me know down in the comments which one you are going to try, and be sure to subscribe because we're putting out videos every week now with more gardening tips and advice to help you get outside and growing. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.